What's up, everybody? It's Jason from Straight Edge Knives. Hey, we got another YouTube review video for you. And today we are going to be talking about the Skyraider knives. Now, I know it's not the Banshee, which you've been seeing me do some hard destruction testing with, right? Been beating the heck out of this thing. And it's not the Skinner, which is another cool blade. And I'm going to put all these up side by side so you can see all the main differences between them. But today, this is on the Skyraider Knives Mustang. So, again, the Skyraider Knives, if you haven't seen my other videos, they come in this really nicely packaged box, right? It says Skyraider Knives on it. Got some logoing on there and stuff. Cool. You know, it's a cardboard box. That typically doesn't come in there. I'll show you that in a minute. Typically, what you'll get in the box is you'll have your knife with the sheath. You'll have a little wrench for being able to take the handle scales off, which we'll talk about. And then you typically get if I can get it out of the box here, you get this really cool like certificate of authenticity sticker, or not sticker, but a kind of cardboard paper info card, if you will. And then there's some cool artwork inside the box. We see that. Really cool. But the Skyraider knives always come really nicely packaged. All three of them have, and they're cool blades. I really like them. And Jonathan was nice enough to send these over for me to check them out. And, you know, he's like, hey, man, honest review, honest opinion. I'm like, that's what I'm giving, guys. You know, with the other two blades here, which I'm getting ahead of myself. We'll get to those here in a minute. Let me finish talking about this. Anyway, with your certificate of authenticity, it actually is really cool because it gives you a full diagram of the blade. And then it also tells you, I got my neighbor yelling over here. It gives you all the specifications. And so that's cool is I'm going to be able to go over the specs with you on that. And then it has a really cool story about the Skyraider knives, like the Douglas A1 Skyraider plane that the knives are kind of named after. And it gives you a really cool story from Vietnam about one of the pilots and some of the heroics that he performed. But you know what? Let's pause the camera real quick. We'll flip it around, give you that nice top-down view so you can see the knife up close, and you can see all the differences between the Mustang, the Skinner, and the Banshee. So stand by real quick while I switch the camera. Alrighty, guys, we are back. Thanks for standing by on that. So here we go. Like I said, this is a certificate of authenticity, you know, signed by Jonathan, the owner, the knife maker himself. And again, like I said, it has your specs up here. You know, you got your hardness of 58 Rockwell, 2.94 ounces, a drop point, hollow. Blade grinds hollow with a edge grind convex. Its heat treat was performed by NADCAP certified processor. You got 4.21. Let's get the knife out and show it to you guys. Look at this. Wow. Look at that. Really cool looking blade. And it's cool as you get the specs. You got a 4.2 handle, a 3.5 inch blade. Overall is 7.7. I mean, your thickness is 0.185. So, I mean, it's really cool that it has that, you know, all the specs there for you like that. And again, here's a whole little kind of story talking about, you know, Jonathan talking about his experience in the aerospace market and all that. It talks about the plane. It's named after, like I said, that story. So it's really cool little packaging. I like it a lot. But let's check out this blade. I mean, this is a little bit different from the other two in the fact that it's a thinner blade. It's got a thinner blade stock. It has definitely a thinner edge. This thing is a lot more slicey than the other two. The other two are more self-defense orientated, in my opinion, where this is more of your EDC orientated type blade, where you're going to be able to do a lot more better cuts with this knife. That's because of the edge angle, the way it's sharpened, the degrees and everything like that. Got this cool USA. It's on the bottom there. Got the plane. This is made out of A2. I think it's CPM A2 tool steel. Or CPM. Hold on, sorry guys. I'm gonna brain fart here, but it is A2 tool steel. Got this really cool like part that's milled out here. Gives it a really cool look to it. The jimping on this thing is great. I mean, you lock your finger in right here, it is not going anywhere. You have jimping on the back right there, so you got it all through here to give you maximum grip. Come in here, you kind of rest your thumb like that. You can, you know, do your little reverse cuts, rest your thumb over the top. You got a very, very good grip on this thing. I mean, it's not going to go anywhere. It's once you grab it on this bad boy, it's locked in. Now, one of the things I wanted to talk about is how easily it is to swap these scales out. I mean, you just got a couple of bolts here. There's a standoff in there. And if like this smooth right here texture isn't, you know, you want something a little bit more grippier, he sells the grip panels, like, and you can easily swap them between all the knives. This one I actually took off of the Banshee. It's got like this golf puck. I mean, this is really, I mean, maximum grip texture. Just taking off these screws, I can easily swap these onto here. And the same goes with the, I mean, they're all kind of interchangeable. I mean, you have these ones that I have on the Skinner. Show you guys the Skinner. I mean, these are super aggressive textured. So you can easily swap those onto the Mustang as well. So that was one of the really cool things with the Skyraider knives that I liked, was the fact that their handle scales, the handles are all essentially the same, and you can swap out the handle scales easily, give you, you know, to just change up your carry system however you want it, however it maximizes you to the best, you know what I mean? Yeah. So again, here's the Banshee, which you can even run it skeletonized like this. This is the Banshee that I've been beating the hell out of. Jonathan over there, Skyraider, said, hey, beat the hell out of this thing. Let me know what you think. Let's see how it holds up. And I've been wailing on it. Go check out some of those videos. I mean, this tough little bad boy right here. And here's a Skinner. Kind of show you the differences. Like I said, really the biggest thing is it's thinner and longer. And obviously, you know, this is bigger here, but the big part on this one is the length and the thinness of the blade compared to the thicker, beefier Banshee and Skinner. So this is going to get definitely going to get a lighter knife here. You're definitely going to get a slicier knife here. And again, with the handle scale swappable, you can totally customize this out however you want, and it's pretty simple to do. But you know what? Let's see how this bad boy performs. I mean, it came with a nice razor sharp edge. You can see there. I mean, if this thing is half as tough as the other two, I mean, I'm telling you, this would be a good EDC carry blade. I mean, this grip is cool. Feels really good in the hand. I wear XL gloves. Comes down perfectly. I can lock into place, do whatever I need to do. So I'm going to flip the camera back around so I can, you guys can see me doing the cutting tests and stuff like that. It's easier for me to do it than having this down view. I hit my camera a lot trying that. So stand by and let me flip the camera around. Ooh, all right. Cool. We are back. All right. Let's get to this, right? So here we go. Skyraider, you guys seen up close? Let's get to doing some cutting here. So obviously, this is something you're going to use probably around the office, the warehouse, your backyard, whatever. You know, Christmas just passed not too long ago. You still got all those boxes on the side of the house for the kids' presents. You got to break down the cardboard. Take a piece of cardboard, come in here, slice up your cardboard, break down your boxes. No problem at all. Let's do the stab test here, guys. So we got my typical catalog here. This is what 3/8 inch thick, maybe an inch thick catalog. Come in here, you got to do, like I said, a reverse grip. You want to stab through here. Bam, look at that. Tip went all the way through, stopped in the log. Not a problem. Let's get a couple more stab. Check out this tip strength. Bam, look at that. All the way through. All those went all the way through. But what we're doing is seeing if it'll pierce through, and we're also checking the tip here. Tip is looking good. Yeah, not a problem. Still there, still super sharp, pointy. Let's see if we can cut. I like doing this, cutting these little corners off. Oh, look at that. Went right through. Make it rain. You can definitely make a mess if you wanted to. Bam, look at that. Push cut through. Making some confetti snow. Hey, that's good for Easter right there, guys. Make your confetti eggs when that comes up. So obviously it'll cut paper, it'll cut cardboard, it'll stab nicely. Tip's holding up great. Let's say you had to, we'll do that in a minute. Got your rope Here's a poly rope, right? This stuff is a pain to cut, but if you had to come in here, bam, look at that, slice right through. I mean, that thinner edge is definitely going to be beneficial for cutting like rope and stuff like that. It's going to help you get through that material a lot faster. Typically, you know, with thicker edge knives, they have a little bit harder time. You know, you'll get through them, but you got to work it a little bit. Thinner edge, definitely a little bit slicier. Come in here, do a little push cut. Make a mess, make it snow again, yellow snow this time. Yeah, I hate that stuff. It's always a pain in the butt to clean up. You could take it up a notch from that you know, kind of thinner poly rope to this thicker. I don't even know what they call this rope. This stuff is very fibrous. It's got a lot of grit to it. I believe there's some sort of maybe a slight adhesive in here or something that they put to help keep the rope together. So whenever you're cutting through this stuff, it's pretty tough. It's pretty rough on an edge, and it also kind of acts like sandpaper. So sometimes you can lose a little bit of your edge cutting through this stuff, but you know, that's what a knife for, though. You need to cut, right? So come in here, bam, cut off a chunk of that, no problem. That was just maybe a couple of these strands. Let's cut down here and go through all three. So then come in here. Oh, look at that. Nice, super clean cut. That was really good, actually. Look at that. And then if you had to come in and cut these down even farther, you could. What's cool with this stuff is you can actually kind of shred it up. It makes a good, like, fine fire starter, actually. So I wouldn't say cook over it, but if you got to get your fire started, definitely could do that with that. Speaking of fires, no, let's go to this hose. So we got this air hose, right? This is kind of the cheap air hose that came with my Harbor Freight air compressor. It's like a plastic nylon that's reinforced with some like fibers in here. This thing's supposed to withstand up to 3,000 psi, so it's pretty durable unless you leave it out in the sun or the heat for a long time, and then it dry rots on you and cracks. So definitely upgrade your hose from these if you can. But we're going to cut through this thing because it's a pain. It's tough. It's tough material, right? So let's cut through it. Let's see if we can't do a little push cut right here. Just pushing down. Boom. There it goes. Cut through it, no problem. Wanted to come in here, maybe do a top down kind of push cut. Slice it right in half. No problem. Look at this edge here. Check it out. No edge damage, no rolling, no chipping. I wouldn't expect any from doing that anyway, but still feels really sharp. Not a problem. Get that out of the way. Of course, then you got to come to the extension cord. I love cutting the extension cord, man. That's a tough test. You got those three, you know, copper wires in there that are all individually sheathed with plastic, a thick, hard plastic, and then you have your outer protective layer. So it's not always the easiest thing to cut, but we're going to try it anyway, right? So let's get in here. Ah, bam. Slice it. No problem. Nice, clean cut. Cool. Nice. Let's check this edge. Edge looks good. No problems. So the heat treat and everything's holding up fine on it. Let's say you had to come in here and wanted to do a couple little, you had to, I don't know. Let's say you don't have the room to, you know, really work a slice. Maybe you have to chop this in half real quick, get it out of the way, you know, working on something. So you had to maybe come in here, choke back a little bit. You can do a little chop and come in here. Bam, chop it. No problem. It is piece right there. Do another one. See if we can't get it in one. Nope, two. Oh, I missed that time. Bam, there you go. So 1 to 2 hits, bam, you can get right through it. Probably could if I had a better aim, get through it in one. There it goes. One shot right there. So a lot of times, guys, when I'm doing these tests, because I'm not a professional, I screw it up and make it. Trust me, it's more often than not, if there's some sort of a performance issue, it's more than likely me and not the knife. But, oh, yeah, nice. So hitting that wire like I was, hitting that chop, I was also going through and hitting my log. Edge is still there, no problem. I mean, let's say you got leather belt, you know, you got a leather belt. something happens, you got to cut a belt off, or it could be webbing, seat belt, something like that. I mean, leather's pretty thick, pretty tough, so if you had to come in and bam, cut a chunk off, no problem. Belt's collapsing here. This thing is old. Oh, there it goes. So it's multiple layers of a leather belt. I mean, you got the outer parts, the inner parts. I mean, it looks like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, like 5 kind of different layers of leather there. Because this is actually the part that's more close to where the belt buckle would be. So it's definitely a little bit more reinforced up there. But yeah, you could easily come in here and cut that off. Cut through that. Cut little slices off here if you needed to, for whatever reason. I don't know why you need to do that, but you never know. Where are we going to go to next? Oh, so let's say, what do you want to do next? Let's say you needed to, make some, cut through jean material. I knew I was forgetting something. Let's say you need to cut through some jean material, cut a pair of pants off, come across an accident, need to render some first aid. Stick your knife point in, come in there, easily slice through that, no problem. You can see that. So if you had to cut some pants off or something, you could easily come in, cut them off, do what you got to do. Jean material, if you will. Slice right through that. Take a piece off. No problem. I mean, this is a super slicey knife, guys. It's going to do all your everyday carry stuff. Here's a rubber hose, a pull hose, if you will. If you had to cut like anything like that, you come in here, slice the chunk off, no problem. Going to do it. Let's say you had to. Now, I would not baton with this knife by any means. With that thinner edge, you definitely would run a risk of causing some damage, because it does come to a very thin, acute edge. But I would not have any issue coming in here, slicing pieces off of a wood to make a feather stick. I mean, look at that. I mean, that's just digging right in. Now I got to a knot right here, but come in here, make some nice slices. Popping that off. Make some nice thin slices for your fire. Or if you want to come in here and make some little fire curls, if you will. I don't know, this stick is probably the best stick for making fire curls, but come in there, make your little feather sticks, if you will. Here's a little piece. This is a piece I was looking for a minute ago, and it was right behind me. You can come in here and make some really nice little fine curls with a smaller stick, for sure. I mean, you had to make some really fine curls, you could do it, no problem. Or, like I said, you had to come in here, do your big long slices. They go flying everywhere, so it's kind of hard to show you those, but I think you can see them flying off on the camera. But look at that, I mean, look at that. So, I mean, this thing would be great for making like your feather sticks, little fire curls and things like that. I wouldn't suggest, like I said, batoning with it. It's not a batoning knife by any means, so I would definitely not do that with it. But you could do some fire prep work with it. This leads us into some of our next testing here. This is this is the outer sheath of a fire hose, and this stuff is very strong, very durable, and it is a pain in the ass to cut. Every knife that I cut with this it's not always the easiest thing to cut, but if you had to come in here and stab it, bam, that was pretty good. Cut through that, but okay, that's just the outer layer, right? Well, here's the whole hose. I got the whole stinking hose here. Let's cut a chunk of this off, guys. So this is actually 3 layers. Have you seen any of my other videos? You know about this, but I always have to assume that you're a first-time viewer. So there's 3 layers. There's an outer layer, an inner layer, and the inner layer has rubber actually in here, glued in. So this stuff has been drugged through the mud, fire, dirt, grime, car wrecks, everything. This stuff's got to be super durable and it's got to make it through car wreckages to put out fires and things like that, right? So it's very, very tough, very difficult to cut. And I've had some really sharp knives going through cutting and had a difficult time cutting through this. So let's do it. Let's cut through it and see what we can do with the Skyraider Mustang. Oh yeah, slicing through it. So, man, this nice acute edge is making this way easier than what I have to do with some other knives. Bam, look at that. Cut that off nicely. Nice cut. I mean, this stuff is, like I said, super strong. I've had some knives where I'm just sitting here like sawing and it doesn't want to go through. And so to be able to cut through that easily and then bam, come in, do a nice stab through there, that no problem. I mean, that's pretty damn good. Let's check this edge. There's no deformation there, no edge rolling, no, I don't see any glinting. Yeah, held up nicely. Sweet, man, that was good. So let's do another quick little stab here and then do a little. There we go. Should have cut a bigger piece off. Yeah. So this is through all 3 layers. Actually, 1, 2, 3, 4 layers. Think about it if you go all the way through. Or actually maybe 6 if you count the rubber. But am I counting the rubber? I don't know. Bam. Look at that. Cutting through all that, no problem. Like again, you can see the inside there. It's rubber. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, 6. So if you count the rubber layer, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah. Common Core math, guys. I don't know what to tell you. But guys, this Skyraider Banshee is going to be a very nice EDC blade for like your everyday normal type of task, cutting rope, boxes. If you had to cut some hoses, maybe things like that, do some light fire prep work. This thing is going to be slicey to do it. It's also going to be, great, zombie chicken ninjas are coming after you and you got to do some cool stuff like this and deflect or whatever. This is going to perform very well in that aspect as well. Very cool knife, very lightweight. I mean, if you took these handle scales off, I mean, this thing would be even that much lighter. The Kydex sheath is very minimalist, very light as well. Tons of mounting holes there, so you could put whatever type of mounting system you want on it. I would throw a Concept deep carry pocket clip on there or ulti clip on there. You can clip that to your backpack while you're hiking or anything like that. I mean, there's just got a nice little thumb wrap on here. You can kind of pop it, get it out very quickly. Yeah, guys, the Skyraider Banshee, not the Banshee, the Skyraider Mustang. It's just another great offering in the Skyraider lineup. I mean, if you're looking for something a little bit thicker, a little bit more robust, definitely look at the Banshee or the Skinner. If you're looking for something a little bit more EDC friendly as far as cutting wise, I would definitely look at the Mustang. Very, very cool blade. Thank you, Jonathan, for sending this over. Really appreciate it for sending all 3 of these, man. These are very cool designs, very cool blades. They all have their own like purposes and designs, and it's just awesome, man. I mean, again, Skinner, Banshee, thick, tough, robust little boys. Mustang is the sleek, fast Mustang flying, So Skyraider Knives has quite a few different options for you to check out. I definitely go hit the YouTube, the website link that I put in the description below. I can't talk to you guys, I'm telling you. But thank you for watching. I greatly appreciate it. Stay safe, stay sharp, and we'll see you next time.